Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Cleo and today I'm giving you another court trial video about a man called Darell Brooks that has been trending a lot lately for, I would say, very good reasons. What he done is totally tragical, but how he has been acting through the whole trial is even more tragical. Anyway, the first video I made in this channel that was a court trial video was about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. And I clearly stated in that video that it was a real patience test because to the world she was acting and making up a lot of lies about the abuse. And she just kept pushing it, no matter how much how bad it made her look. She just kept going, and it could get really frustrating at times. I think you guys remember who I'm talking about here. Do you guys remember this? Yeah, exactly. The notorious serial killer Ted Bundy. You may have not heard of him, but this is a case where this serial killer actually took him upon himself to be his own lawyer and to defend himself. And people that had to witness this said it was very entertaining. But Cleo, where are you going with this? Yeah, my question is, why does somebody have to step up to the plate and be absolutely worse than these two I actually mentioned now? It wasn't that this trial was entertaining for me per se. It actually made me sick to my stomach. And I couldn't watch the whole thing because it made me too annoyed. And hats off to you guys that actually managed to watch this whole thing. But I just couldn't. So this video is for the people that couldn't sit through the whole trial because of this man. I have summoned up a little shorty, but like, I'm gonna advise, if you want to go more in depth than this video has, there are tons of videos out in the internet, but yeah, this video is for those that couldn't bear watch the whole thing. So let us begin explaining about Darell Brooks. Darell Brooks drove his SUV through a crowd of Christmas parade tendencies last November in Wisconsin, killing 6 people. One of them was a child. He was found guilty of 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. He plowed through 63 people. He also got convicted of 61 counts of recklessly endangering safety with the use of a dangerous weapon. You know why I'm not perfect, like I'm not gonna be able to memorize this. Let's just continue with what he got convicted of, alright? Okay, I have it on my paper. 6 counts of fatal hit and run, 2 counts of felony bail jumping, and 1 count of misdemeanor domestic battery and clean sweep for the prosecution. He also got sentenced for abuse for hitting his girlfriend or ex. Okay, I'm not perfect. I wouldn't remember that. I would be here forever. According to Brooks, the SUV or the van, the SUV had technical issues. So he lost control over it and actually tried to alarm the people to jump out of the way. And if that was true, why did he run from the cops? Why did he plow through the whole parade where there were children, teenagers, elderly couple, families that just wanted to enjoy the parade? There were teenagers that put a lot of time in practice to bring the people a show, and everyone was there to have a good time and just celebrate. Instead, he made it a living nightmare. The reason it was hard for me to watch this trial is, first and foremost, he said goodbye to his lawyers and said, I'll take over, I'm gonna defend myself. He was disrespectful, mostly towards the judge, Jennifer Darell. He spoke over her. He told her how to do her job. He yelled at her. He was really, really rude, and he was acting like a brat throughout this whole case. He was also disrespectful towards the lawyers and towards the witnesses, which I'm going to show here in this video. His goal was clear. He wanted to drag it out as much as possible, and I mean drag it out. And this was also why this case, was so hard to watch. He took his time with everything, dragging everything out. And he was on the judge so much, hoping that she would slip or do something wrong. But she stood her ground, the queen that she is. Everyone knew what he was trying to do. He didn't want to get first degree, he wanted a second degree. So he was fighting for second degree. And not only did he represent himself, he did not want to be referred as Darell Brooks. He only wanted to be referred as Mr. Brooks. So the witnesses had to talk to him as a other person, like they are talking to a lawyer, so they have to refer as Darell Brooks as his client. But the fact is, it's the same person. And not many witnesses wanted to do this crap, which I understand absolutely. I'm gonna show a video now, and it wasn't easy to do it because I had to watch a lot. But it's gonna show how he was throughout this whole trial and towards the judge. Take a look.
Finding and ruling.
I was specific, my other filings that
That's
was
not
filed.
specific enough, sir. What are you
My
referring
court
to?
docket
Which
sheet,
filing?
let me know when you're done, Your Honor.
Which filing, sir? Not generally, but specifically.
Are you done? Are you done?
Sir, that's very rude and
No,
disrespectful.
I didn't know if you was finna say something.
I
That's why I'm
paused.
asking, are you done?
My final question to you, do you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
I just told you, am I muted? Am I muted?
No.
I just told you, I don't know how many times, I can't hear everything you're saying.
Then you should put the
What about
headphones
that
on.
Don't you understand? What about that don't you understand? Did you see headphones? You can see everything. You can see boxes, but did you see headphones?
Have you asked for headphones to be provided, sir?
I shouldn't have to ask for them. I didn't ask for my boxes to be moved. God don't see what you're doing. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any requests as it relates to the jury
Yeah,
instructions?
I can hear what you're saying. I can hear what you're saying.
You just told me you didn't. So which one is
Yeah, I
it?
got the headphones on. You can't see that?
What are your requests as it
Can't see that?
relates? What are your requests as it relates to the jury instructions, sir?
Man, don't try to come with this whole little image of sir. Now it's all this sir and all this.
Without having that letter.
So
The
what
state
about,
has the ability to question you about that, or question this witness, and to look at the veracity of what your claims are here. So, I may take an early lunch, If that's in your cell, then you can go get it and bring it. But without that letter, I'm not allowing this line of questioning. Do you have the letter with you in court?
I just said no. How
Okay.
many times I gotta say the same thing on record?
You know, sometimes, sir, I don't hear what you say because you interrupt me so much or you answer quietly. And I'm taking notes and I'm focused on probably a dozen things at the same time.
But if I say something under my breath, everybody seems to hear it. Everybody seems to hear
In
that
a
just
quiet
fine.
courtroom,
And everybody
yes, we can
assumes,
hear it very
and
clearly.
everybody assumes that it has to be disparaging. Or,
Once again, you're doing this tactic.
because
you tried
it's
to
not a
go
tactic,
off
it's
of what
facts.
We're talking
It's
about.
facts. And that's
Furthermore,
I object to that.
I'm not
because
done.
that's a lie.
Let
Because
him
at the end of
finish.
the day,
Let
if
him
we
finish,
gonna open the door
Mr.
on that, no,
Brooks.
since he want to make a record and not be accurate, so let's be accurate all on the record. Since you think you know so much,
Once
so
again,
we can
Mr.
open the
Brooks
door
is
on.
being
We can
loud,
open the door on how old she told me she was when we
interrupting.
met. We can ask that question
He is
too. Then
over the
Did you
top,
ask that?
animated
Do you
right
know
now.
that?
Mr. Brooks, I'm ordering you to sit down and to let the
No,
state finish.
no, I'm not going to sit here and let somebody be inaccurate on the record and lie on the record.
Right. Under Illinois versus Allen, I've warned him repeatedly. He's being removed from the courtroom. And you know what? Let me dial that back. We're just going to take an early lunch, 1 hour. We'll be back. And unless he brings that letter and he
Don't
can
sit
show
here and try
it
to
is
think he knows what's
inadmissible,
going
he will
on.
not be questioned. And under 906.11, I will
Then you gonna
declare
talk
the
about where my
cross-examination
kids live. You don't know where,
closed.
You don't know where, what
Thank
happened
you.
at
We're
the
in
time
recess,
all this
1
happened,
hour.
bruh. You're recalling what you want to recall and purposely not recalling.
Objection.
Don't-
Badgering the witness.
Yes, sustained. You do not have to answer that, and you are warned. You may not badger or argue with this witness. Next question.
Badger or argue. What do you mean?
Next question.
What do you mean?
Don't intimidate the witness is what I mean.
How am I intimidating the witness?
Badgering the witness by eye rolling, by pursing your lips, by making facial movements regarding
That's
her
Does she
answers
feel intimidated?
is badgering the witness.
Are you kidding me?
Under 906.11,
You really
please
can't-
ask
you really
your
can't
next
be serious.
question.
You can't be serious right now. Intimidating the witness. What have I done to intimidate the witness?
The last question was badgering, which is a form can
But you
be.
said
Mr. Brooks,
intimidate.
I've made my ruling under 906.11.
specifically said
Please ask
intimidate.
a question or
I'm trying
I will
to merely,
stop the
How
questioning.
did I intimidate?
Under 906.11, sub 1, sub A, sub B, and sub C, ask your next question
Man, you-
or the questioning of this
How
witness
are you
will
even
end.
a judge? How are you even a judge?
All right, you may step down, ma'am. Thank you.
How are you even a judge? Think you even gonna call yourself a judge as much as bias you put up in here. Don't even tell the jury the truth. Got no integrity whatsoever. None. None.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. I tend to call her as a witness because I'm directing you to have her here at 9
We said all
a.m.
that at the beginning, man. Like, I don't even want to be in here that much longer. Just do what you got to do so I can get up out of here. I'm tired of being in the courtroom that has no integrity whatsoever. How can you even call yourself a
Mr.
judge?
Brooks, I need to make a record of some
I need to make a record too.
You don't
When
need
am
to-
I going to get the chance to do that?
All right, I need to make a record. He's being removed to the other courtroom. He is yelling at me. He's not going to let me make a statement or make the record that I need to make.
I'm finna
He
leave
hasn't
anyway,
sat
so what
down
do it
for
matter?
the
You can
better
hold me
part
in
of 2
contempt
hours.
all you want. You can hold me in contempt all you want.
I'm not
All
holding
you
you in
gotta do is tell me
contempt.
if it's criminal or civil, so I can hit
All right,
you with you.
I need to
with
clear
what you
the
know is
courtroom because
coming.
I do need
I'm
to
gonna give
make-
you what you know is coming.
I need him to go to the
If
other
it's civil-
courtroom because I do need to put some things
if
on the
it's civil,
record. The record should
Where's the
reflect
contract between you and
that
I?
Mr. Brooks
If it's
is
criminal,
yelling at me.
what is the crime?
He is.
Who makes the claim? And what
He
is
is. I will make the record when we get back. I will step off, but Mr. Brooks, you're being
It ain't
taken
no
to
Mr.
the
It
next
ain't no Mr.
courtroom.
Brooks. Don't try to address me
Thank
like
you.
that, like we cool. You don't have no integrity. How can you even call yourself a judge? Making tacit agreements, being biased, judicial misconduct, trying to steal somebody's system.
That was his behavior throughout the whole trial. Jennifer, the judge, was so professional, so calm, and just pushed this trial forward, ignoring his bullshit, excuse me, she wouldn't have it. She was exactly like she should be when handling a person like this, because fire on fire creates inferno. She wanted to do it as right as possible, not get distracted by him, so they could just keep on going. Like I said, hats off to those that could watch this whole thing. Hats off to the judge, hats off to the lawyers, hats off to anyone that could actually stand, sit and watch this as long as it's been going. I managed a half hour and I was like, screw this, I can't. And the judge and the lawyers just wanted to keep it professional because they have no other choice. Even when the judge explained his own rights for his own sakes, he had to talk against it and talk over her. It was a consistent battle. Even when she tried to help her. Sometimes it actually got sad. It really got sad. I felt so bad for her because she was calm. She was very nice. She wanted to explain his rights. And even there, he had to argue. But at the end, there were a person in court that couldn't hold himself. I think he probably was a parent to one of the victims. He couldn't hold himself and he said what everyone was thinking.
Homicide while using a dangerous weapon. Answer, yes.
Burn in hell, you piece of shit.
Hey, you are to be removed right now.
Then he was gonna deliberate the closing argument. Here, he wanted to play on the jury's feelings, and it baffles me that he honestly thought that he had a chance here. It baffles me. His closing argument, because I did look through it all, it was painful. It was more painful than to see or hear Amber Heard. He paused through every word and for every sentence. And that is why his closing argument was an hour. Only because he took his sweet time, pausing between everything. But I took the parts I wanted and I kept it short. It's not long, because I don't want this video to be that long, but yeah, it is disturbing. Take a look.
We all know what's been said. We all know the picture that's been painted. Even the prosecution said themselves. How can you look in somebody's head and say, this is what they intended to do? You know, for a year, I've sat and gone through this. You know, feeling so powerless. Letting other people run with the narratives, sitting back helpless while other people paint a picture that has zero truth. Zero. I understand about healing myself, tragedy, pain, all that. A lot of it, there's no need to get into. I myself in my own life have had to do a lot of healing. as a man with children myself, I find it hard to believe that anyone who's really had conversations with me, spent time around me, would think for 1 second that this is an intentional act. I've never heard of someone intentionally trying to hurt someone while attempting to blow their horn. While attempting to alert people of their presence. Which brings me to more information that I believe that you should have been privy to. The DA says the defendant has an utter disregard for human life. Utter disregard for human life. Not realizing that they're talking about someone that has children. Talking about someone that watched their children come out of the womb and be born into this world, cut the umbilical cord, held them before their mom even did. Moments that I'll never forget. And yet they say disregard, utter disregard for human life. They made reference to a rage. As if they were, or if this particular DA was right there, standing right there. As if this DA is a psychiatrist. I said to myself, what rage? What do you mean rage? How can you characterize that? How can you have the audacity to diagnose what someone's brain is, where it's at, what it's thinking, why it thinks the way it does? There's been prayers going up every day. There's been suffering on both sides. There's been threats, hate mail. Because of the narratives that's been put out there. The misconceptions that have been put out there. The lies that have been put out there. Lies that have caused my children not to be able to go to school. To be bullied. For my mother to have to leave her home and stay at a hotel because she's afraid for her safety. And what's been equally hard is not only having to answer the questions from my daughter, who was 7 at the time, my baby girl, who was 7 at the time, is now 8. Attempting to answer her questions that she's asking and still continue to shield her from what she sees, what she hears. Having a newborn son that I haven't even been able to meet. Haven't been able to hold, touch, kiss. And speak for anyone else but me, myself. I believe in Jesus Christ. That's how I was raised. That's what I believe in. None of us are perfect, but I try every day to make sure that I acknowledge him. I'm happy to say that my conscience is clear, and because I believe, I trust him with my life. Look inside yourself. Look inside yourself and make the right decision. Look inside your heart. You have everything in your hands now. Everything. Do what's right. Don't let the smoke and mirrors take away your power. Don't let the theatrics take away your power. Each and every one of you has a decision. Do what's right. Make the right decision. I had a letter the other day from my youngest daughter, and she's still learning cursive right now, so she's the best writer when it comes to cursive. She'd rather print. She said, "Dad," and this is from the letter, she said, "Dad, why are people saying all these mean things about you?" I haven't read the rest of that letter yet. The rest of that sentence said, "That's not the dad I know."
In his close argument, he states that everybody has painted the wrong picture about him, that the stories are natural, and he plays on the year's feelings by taking up his own children and the battles he himself has gone through life. But he also takes up a certain information about his UV that he hasn't presented to the lawyers or the judge. And that is not really how it works. He stated that his conscience is clear. He stated that he and the victims has suffered equally, and he also states that no one is perfect. That is true. But throughout this whole closing argument, not a single mentioning about the victims, besides that they equally suffered. Not one single apology. Nothing. This whole statement was about Darell Brooks. No one else. Only about how he has suffered, how he is a victim. I know the truth. We all do. Even if it wasn't, like, I'm just trying to explain like a decent human being would do, okay? Intentional or not intentional, your car, your SUV, hit and killed and hurt many people. Many people. So, innocent or not innocent, if your car was in fact not controllable, a decent human being would still apologize after causing harm to that many people. He doesn't get that. I'm just baffled. I'm very baffled. And throughout the whole court, throughout this whole case, we have seen how he acted. There's no remorse, there's only anger. There's actually only anger towards the judge. That's it. Not a single mention about the victims. Nothing. He has only been obnoxious. The jury didn't listen to him. He got convicted because, logic. His sentencing, I think, is on Monday, and I just hope he gets consequences somehow of how he has been acting out in court. I really do, and I do hope for life. I think, I can't think anything else, honestly. When he did get convicted of all these things, it got really quiet. a part of me got really happy, but at the same time I got really nervous. Because I wasn't really used to him being totally silent. It worried me, but it was a good silence, I think. I'm going to show you how he was towards a few witnesses. There are absolutely more witnesses in YouTube that you can find, but I took just a few examples how he acted when the witnesses took the stand. At this point, you guys shouldn't be really surprised. I had to really cut this short because he took his sweet time. He really took his sweet time here too. They're gone. But here's the video.
Was there a certain point when your dancers stopped dancing?
Objection, irrelevant.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yeah, they did stop dancing.
Why?
Because there was a car that drove through.
To your knowledge, a box without a name is a person who wasn't hit.
Yes.
Okay. I'll renew my request at this point.
Objection. How is it legal to instruct the prosecution to ask a question that they should already know to ask?
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 33 is received and permission to publish is granted.
Do you recognize the truck
Yes.
at this point that we've stopped at?
Yep.
At 19 seconds?
Yeah.
What's the truck?
That's the truck that we had for Extreme.
During the Christmas parade?
Yes.
Did you recognize the people in front of the truck holding the banner?
Objection. The witness stated she doesn't recognize the video. How is it permitted?
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. She may answer the question.
7 seconds. Did you recognize the people coming into the screen from the left?
Yes.
Who were they?
Our dancers.
Okay. Does this video appear to be an accurate depiction of your group along the parade route during the Waukesha Christmas Parade?
Yeah.
You may answer.
Yes.
I'd move to admit exhibit number 32 and ask for permission to publish.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Did you sustain that objection?
I didn't rule on it. Which objection?
That I just objected to.
It was overruled.
Are you making that decision now?
There's been a request by the state to receive Exhibit 32, Mr. Brooks.
We've paused at the 35-second mark. Ms. Kajewski, do you remember what you were wearing on your head, if anything at all, that day?
Yeah, I had a bright red hat on.
Do you see yourself in this at the 35-second mark of this video?
Yes.
That's a touch screen in front of you. Can you use your finger and circle yourself? Okay. And we can clear that, please, Madam Clerk. And we'll resume at the 35-second mark. And we can take that down now. Thank you. So, Ms. Kajewski, let me just clarify. What did we see at the end of that video? You can take some time.
A car going through the parade.
As you were doing that, making your way back to your car, did you encounter somebody out on foot?
Yes, we did.
Tell us about that, please.
Objection, lead.
Refer to this person by name. Did you know Mr. Brooks prior to this encounter?
No.
Okay, never met him before.
Correct.
Objection.
And you said he...
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
The objection came after her answer. Her answer will stand. Next question.
You said he kind of came out of... Did you say the bushes?
Objection.
What did you say? And did you notice his appearance when he approached you?
Objection, leading.
Do you see the same person present in this courtroom here today?
Yes, I do.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that Mr. Brooks be instructed to remove his mask and look at the witness so she can properly identify him, please?
Mr. Brooks, please unmask and look at the witness. Sir, would you please unmask and look at the witness? Thank you.
I was writing something down.
All right, thank you. Just want to make sure you heard me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did Mr. Brooks speak to you in any way?
Objection. I do not consent to being called that name.
What did he say?
Objection, leading.
When you're referring to we, who are you referring to?
Sorry, my husband and I.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. So he asked for the phone.
Correct.
You kind of pause.
Yep.
And then what'd you do?
Objection,
then-
leading.
It was broken,
Objection, leading.
and you had torn ligaments.
Objection, leading.
Were those both in the same leg?
Objection, leading. Misconduct at its finest.
And which leg was that, sir?
Objection, action, answer.
Two.
That's not gonna work either.
Mr. Brooks, you are advised to stop with the commentary.
No, I'm gonna say what I want.
You
to say.
called this witness. I'm going to take a break right now and excuse the jury and this witness.
All right.
What you doing is judicial misconduct. Judicial misconduct. But you don't want the jury to hear the truth. I'm not finna sit here and let you fix the trial because you don't want to tell the truth to the jury.
Mr. Brooks, please stop.
No, there ain't no please.
You are
nothing.
being disruptive.
Ain't
You
no
are being
please,
disrespectful.
Yeah, you always
The
gonna
witness
find
may
some
step
reason to
down.
say somebody's being disruptive because they want the truth to be out there. Man, quit it. We gotta cut that out. You know you have to prove subject matter jurisdiction. You know that. You have to honor your oath of office. You know that. That's not right. Oh, there you go.
Six months later. Many months later. $2,000 later. One eternity later.
Go ahead.
Defense calls Erica Patterson.
And thank you. We'll have her brought in.
Since I'm being rushed to judgment. You recall at any time on November 21st of 2021 being interviewed by a Detective Guth?
Yep.
And do you recall giving a recorded report at that time?
I don't remember.
Do you recall if you had given Detective Guth all the details of the alleged incident on November 20th of 2021?
I didn't give him all the details, but I did the next day when I seen him.
Funny. Were you aware that it was reported there was in fact no incident on November 20th, 2021?
That's not true.
Objection. Move to strike the answer and the question.
Grounds.
Lack of personal knowledge. Hearsay.
Sustained. I'll strike the question and the answer. The reason stated, sir, rephrase, or...
So can I, any reason why it would be reported no incident happened on November 20th of 2021?
Same objection.
Grounds. So, upon speaking to Detective Goof during the first interview, do you recall why you were not forthright with information?
It wasn't that I was not forthright, I just didn't tell him everything right away.
Why not?
I don't know, Mr. Brooks.
When speaking with a law enforcement officer, would it be fair to say that you should be truthful and honest?
I was very truthful. I just didn't tell him everything at once. I told him the next day, Mr. Brooks.
Say that you have a child in common with the alleged defendant. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah, is that the only child in common?
Yes.
You have any other children?
Objection.
Grounds.
It has nothing to do with the case. Sorry.
Hold on, there's been an objection. Not relevant. Sustained.
Grounds for the sustain?
The record speaks for itself. Next question.
What was the record speaking for itself? I didn't hear it.
Not relevant.
How is it not relevant?
Next question, please.
How is it not relevant? The child that you have in common with the alleged defendant, how old is that child?
15.
Do you keep regular contact with that child?
Off and on.
Describe what you mean by off and on.
I'll object.
Grounds.
This is not relevant.
Not relevant.
And the child in common that you have with the alleged defendant, does that child live with you?
No.
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Do any of your children live with you?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Sustained.
That goes to the credibility, Your Honor, so how is it not relevant?
The objection has been sustained.
For relevancy. I object to that and would like to inform you that I intend to appeal that decision unless you want to give a legal reconsideration of that ruling.
Noted for the record, I direct your attention to 906.16, and the basis for the objection being sustained is it does not fall within the categories listed. Next question.
I don't know if you can see them from here, but do you recognize these pictures?
You need to show those to the state. The bailiff will take them. That's not proper procedure, sir.
I'm going to object to those being shown to the witness. They have no relevance whatsoever to this trial.
Yes, they do.
Sustained.
And I'm getting to how they have relevance.
They've also never been disclosed to the state before this moment.
Sustained.
Sustained why?
Not relevant.
They are relevant. It creates foundation. And I can prove that.
I'll take up the issue outside the presence of the jury at the conclusion of this witness, and if need be, bring the witness back in. But next question, please.
And these need to be offered into evidence as well.
The first woman you saw in the video was the coach for the dancers in the parade. She had to witness this there and then, and she had to re-witness this yet again here in court, and it was really heartbreaking. But even if she was absolutely devastated, no respect whatsoever from this man. He's keep objecting, and objecting, even objecting before the witnesses could even answer the question. And he argued with the judge. He argued and he argued and he argued. This is why, and just talking about this makes my head hurt. This was why it was, I just couldn't watch it. Honestly, I just couldn't watch this whole trial. It was unbearable. When it comes to people that are like these, I mean, there is no point in wasting logic or sense. The only thing you can do actually is like the judge Jennifer did, just ignore it, stand her ground, and just push forward professionally, follow rules, and don't let him distract. She is a queen. She did this perfectly. She is the only one I think can handle him. And hats off to the witnesses, to the lawyers, and anyone that could sit through and witness this. So like I stated, the sentencing is on Monday, I think. And there's nothing more right than giving him life, and I can't actually think that they will do it any other way. But yeah, guys, that's it. This video was for those that couldn't stand watching, and yeah, this is a summary video. So if you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe today for more. Take care. Bye bye.